Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about some of the major opportunities with CGC in the soccer collectibles world, especially for collectors in the UK. Not only are they taking in-person submissions on April 20th, 21st at CardCon, I also believe the recent acquisition of JSA has some huge opportunities for the soccer collectibles world. We go in depth and more. Hope you all enjoy the video.
Yeah, so I'm with George from CGC Grading, and man, today's video, I haven't done an interview style podcast in such a long time, but this was warranted because there's huge opportunities that I cannot wait to talk about. I really do think, honestly, it's going to change the culture of the footy world, of the footy memorabilia space, the footy cards culture. And I'll get to that real quick. But George, man, yes, you want to give like a 30-second snippet of yourself. What do you do at CGC? I know hey, listen, guys. George, it was nice enough to watch, to not watch Chelsea and get on this podcast. Right? Like, that's your team, so
yeah, work priorities. So I'm George. I do the verification and receiving in the London office. We have an office in central London. People can drop off trading cards, sports cards, comic books. We do all of it. To be fair, right? They're only small, 37 of us, but it's a small team about the wider aspect, obviously, in Florida.
Yeah, and it's funny. I'm actually in Florida too, and I've seen the CGC like parameters. It's like huge, man.
Yeah,
it's a big deal in the States, and like it's funny because when we think of CGC, the first thing I think about is always comics, and the space that they kind of own that space. And there's so many things that's happening with CGC, like the evolution. I remember when I first started going in there, the slabs were a little different from now. It's actually it's really class now. You know what I mean? Like I think we can say that. But the really cool thing is I've learned that CGC not only is huge in the States, but now you guys have an office in the UK, which is huge because I've been to the UK to a few card shows, and right now card shows are still a really new concept, but I've never seen, like, I sell one or two grading companies, but CGC is probably the biggest one to say, hey, we want a home base. And I guess what are the plans? Because for me, I've heard from other card companies that, because I was wondering, what is their retail for like UK markets? And they would say, hey, it's not big enough, right? Yeah. And obviously you guys see something in the UK, and I'm just curious, what did you guys see in the UK for you guys to expand with CGC?
Well, with CGC, as we do, it's not just cards, it's coins, banknotes, comics, and then the cards is the brand new one, so it only came last year. We have the market, and there was no one such as the bigger competition, PSA, in the UK. So we do have a lot of like sub-centers, middlemen that we have, but having an official CGC in the UK is such a big thing, especially for the customers. They feel like much safer sending in their collectibles, knowing the value of some of them. Right. You can come into the office in London, you can drop it off person to person, pick it up person to person, and they find that as the safest way, and just getting to know people as well. Because we only got a small office in London, you're dealing with 6 of us, so we get to see the same people over and over again. You build a rapport that you become kind of like friends, talking about it and watching them open grades. So.
Oh yeah, they do it in person too.
So a lot of them don't look until they get it, and then they're like, "Oh, it's that."
Okay.
You see some good ones, and also sometimes.
Yeah, I was like, it must be awkward when it's not good. I actually had a friend at National, and he's pretty big in the sports card influencer space. And I remember they took him in, and he submitted a big card. And he opened it, and it was not the grade that he wanted to. And the funny thing is that the way they built it up was like as if it was like a huge good grade, so he had to act like he was happy. So it was like super funny. That's what I was thinking about when you're telling me about that. But with CGC, man, do you remember, I'm curious, is there any cool items or pieces of items that you've ran into that is on top of your head that's like, man, I'll never forget that?
Some of the comic books have come through. Because
yeah?
I do the comics as well, so I started with comics, and kind of the cards was brand new, they need someone to do it, and I was like, hey, I like sports, I like football. I grew up for Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, so kind of have a little background in it. But some of the comic books, we've had a few Amazing Fantasy 15 come through, which is the first appearance of Spider-Man.
Okay.
We've had, sells
Yeah,
if
what's
you
the
get it
sell on
high
that?
end, millions. Yeah. So we've seen like 4.5, but one came through, it was 8.5. Probably in
You
terms
said
of value,
8.5 million?
8.5. No, sorry, it'd
Million?
be about 8.5 the grade.
Oh,
So
okay,
out of
okay.
10, yeah. So no, it's probably about half a mil.
Oh, just a half a mil. Okay, yeah, just
Yeah,
500K.
which
You know.
yeah, but like knowing that and it's like in your hands, it's crazy to see some of the history as well. So you see a lot of interesting stuff working
Yeah. I was looking
here.
at some of the CGC magazines as well. Like
Yeah.
some of the football magazines go for pretty decent money as well.
Oh
And I thought it
yeah.
was pretty cool. So I saw like Messi's first World Cup appearance
Oh,
apparently on
nice.
there. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I see you said you're into footy.
Yep.
And I know I kind of mentioned that you're a Chelsea fan and
Yeah.
everything. Who's your go-to guy? If you want me asking.
So, but I don't know why I say this, because I really like Mudryk at the moment.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mudryk,
Don't
I got him on the
be
back of my
unafraid.
Chelsea. Yeah, I got him on the back of my Chelsea top, so I got a lost stock in this. So he hasn't performed as well as I've hoped, but I still think he's going to come world class. But
yeah,
Cole
he is
Palmer right now
my
is
funniest. He's like him and Darwin Nunez are my favorites. If that makes sense.
They're kind of funny to watch play because they do amazing stuff and then they do kind of not. I would call it dumb, kind of.
The variation, right? It's like a CGC. There'll be like a CGC 10 pristine, and then also you're like, wow, CGC 2. What was that all about? There's no CGC 5 in there or like whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty funny.
So yeah, he's kind of my guy at the moment, which I hope does justify his price tag. But Cole Palmer as well right now is my favorite player.
Cole is cold. Like, he is cold, bro. So I will say so Tosin for Fulham. Like I was watching one of his videos and he had an interview with I guess one of the bigger media companies in the YouTube. And he was saying how like he was asking, what's an upcoming talent? And this is before Cole actually like started breaking out, right? I think he just arrived at Chelsea and he was like, man, Cole Palmer. Like Raheem Sterling was telling him, like he's that dude. So I thought it's cool to see the fruition. I mean, there's a lot of pens, but it's cool, Yeah. Hey, you still gotta score.
You gotta score them. You gotta score them.
Hey, they call it a lot of pen merchant too. So I mean, look where he's at.
I'm happy we got one in the end. Yeah,
that's dope. But yeah, with CGC, what other things are you guys looking to? Because I know you guys are going to shows and everything. I know you guys are going to CardCon, which is probably the biggest push I'm seeing, biggest opportunity on April 20th. What other aspects are you guys looking to kind of expand for the UK?
So mainly been pushing cards, sports cards, trading cards. It's the newest kind of collectible that we've jumped into in the UK. Being in last year, and it's just getting our name out, telling people that we are in the UK, we're here. CGC Cards, you can submit at the CardCon. You can just talk to us, get a few information. We've also got swag giveaways in which we've got some cool CGC tops.
I need to get one of those, man.
So hats, tops, bomb bags, just kind of, they look really nice as well. I sometimes wear them. But yeah, really, it's just, we're trying to do cards. I think it's the market's always ever expanding, I think. And the UK, it seems to be, the shows have gone from like 0 to they're popping up all up the UK now. So every week, get it early. Every week, there's some. So it's difficult to get around the whole place, but we're willing to do it. I think we've gone to, as I said, we've been to Yorkshire, we've been to the Manchester. We maybe have like Cardiff and even the Southwest coming up soon. So there is a few more on the horizon.
Cool. Yeah. I just know about Cardiff. It's like, I think it's one of Dave's songs. Like it's like he always says it. I'm like, I wonder where that is.
Wales.
So side note, I will say what's really cool about CGC, or at least in the UK, is that it has the bigger company name. The brand is there, right? You don't have to really question their credibility, but it's really cool that the personableness that you guys are given is something I don't really see as much, right? Especially with bigger companies, you don't see, it's so scaled out. You don't get that personability. Like the fact that someone could come in to the office and actually drop it in. There's actually places that don't allow you to do that, and obviously security reasons, right?
I know that makes sense.
I get it. But the thing is, the fact that you go in there, drop it off, especially when you're grading in the UK, it's really tough. I've ship a lot of stuff to the UK and I get a lot of stuff from the UK, things could happen, man. I mean, you're talking about like customs. You know, you could talk about customs.
Yeah.
Sending it out is really scary. So the fact that you guys have a home base that you guys could send it to all London, and then you guys could take care of it. Everything's on your end. You guys are liable for that and take care of the customers. I think that's a really cool thing.
Yeah, I agree. It's that everything's all included in our base price as well, so there's no like additional charges that could be hidden with customs, etc. But no, it's really good seeing all the people that collect just come in, drop it off, and it isn't like, and we do it face to face. So even though I'm receiving and verifying, I would also do the drop offs and pickups and stuff. So it's just
really?
Yeah,
you guys do the pickups too? Nice.
Yeah, we do it all, to be fair. So it's kind of a personable thing. So even like, sometimes I'll email and I'll even ask people who have my number, I'll answer the phones, answer their questions if they need it. And we've got like direct line to the US. So if there is any questions that we can't answer, I've got people that I can speak to in there that like graders or higher up that could give me the correct answers that I could give back to the customer.
Wow. So there's actually people that have your numbers, like they just call you.
Yeah, it's sometimes, yeah. So like, okay. If they do, yeah.
I'll be FaceTiming you every day, man. No, that's the thing though. That's what I'm talking about. Like the personability of it is just unique. It's something that you don't see. And I say to people that take advantage of that, because like, you know, you get a lot of insight, right? There's like little things that you don't think about when you grade. Like, especially for me, I still find things that I don't realize when I grade. And you know, do you guys tell them if they get a certain grade, can you tell them why you got that, or how does that work? I'm not sure. With that, we can't really give away too much of how it goes.
But they can have some questions. We can, if I'm not a grader myself, but I know a little bit here and there. But if there is major something, I would then go to someone who's graded it and say, "Hey, do you remember this card? Do you have any idea or anything at all?" Obviously, you can't give away everything, but it's great that we can get an answer from someone who's seen it. That just kind of filter it down.
Yeah, the fact that you guys can have communication, I think that's really the biggest thing. I think a lot, like the most successful grading companies I see, like at least on the come up, is usually they have really great personability. You know what I mean? So, but again, I really would love to get into this, because this is what I was really most excited about. Because when we, you know, agreed on this partnership and everything, you know, I always think about like, what are the opportunities in the UK? Because when I first went to the card shows in the UK, it was still super new. Again, it's still super new. Like even like I was talking to some show promoters, I was like, man, you guys should have some signings, you know, because in the States, signings is a very normal thing. They'll have shows just for actual signings of like athletes in American football, basketball, baseball, right? But you never see it in like footy, you know what I mean? You'll never see like a football player come through from like the MLS or any other league to go sign and everything. And I feel like there's huge opportunities, especially with shows coming up, that there could be really killer signings for like different players that play, like a Mudryk, you know, imagine Mudryk coming through like CardCon, right? And just doing signings, like that would be super dope.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
And what I'm alluding to is like, you know, with JSA being picked up by CGC, the biggest opportunities that I think in the UK could be the signatures, like the signatures, the memorabilia. I know it's super new. I know there's just, you know, they're rolling out for the US, but is there is there any plans for the UK that I'm just curious about?
We're always looking to expand our signature series, and the acquisition of JSA is huge for cards and comics as well, in both the signatures.
Right, yeah.
But honestly, it'd be amazing. Even if I want it 100%, I'll push it. Saying yes, if we get like, there is that opportunity, and I don't know the ins and outs of it, but I know in April this month they should be kind of rolling out both comics and cards, the authentication. But so for the future, there's got to be something involved there, which you can get even like legends of the game. The older players, I believe, they won't be playing, so you can get some retired. I'm not sure.
Dude,
I think a lot of big market there.
I don't know why. Peter Crouch just seems like somebody I would
Peter Crouch.
You know what I mean? Like his pod is like A1.
Yeah. He's a funny guy. It would be amazing for these people.
Yeah. For Peter Crouch, who's a goalkeeper that has a great pod?
Is it England keeper? Is it? Oh.
I think so. He played for Wrexham for a little bit.
Ben Foster.
Ben Foster, man. Like, it would be super cool to have like,
Yeah.
you know. So like my thing is, I'm thinking like, man, because the memorabilia game in the UK is really growing. Like I was talking to other platforms, and like that was actually their largest category. And I'm just thinking in my head, man, with GSA, with CGC now, you guys could have people that are literally just authenticators there when people are getting their signatures and stuff like that. And I think that's really one of the big features that could be so insane, because you know we don't have access to players in a prem. You know, you have to go all the way out there. I was like looking at like JSA just comps and everything like that. Like, you know, to just get a Leo Messi jersey auto, it's like $3K. You know what I mean? And like you talk about the spread for people that want, you know, we're gonna be talking here this podcast 10 years from now, there's gonna be somebody that's gonna have a huge business around that with JSA and CGC. And I think that's just it's super exciting for me.
Yeah, I agree. That the news came out a couple of weeks ago. So when we heard it, I was like, okay, this has got a lot of potential. I think everyone thought that. That's why they went ahead with it.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people thought about the just American sports, like, yeah, it's a huge culture there, but like it hasn't even started in the UK yet.
No, yeah.
You know what I mean? And then like you're not just limited to the UK. You have all these other countries. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
La Liga, Serie A is just like the possibilities. Because the biggest things we have to kind of deal with is just like the fraud, right? Like you know, you don't know if the signature is real and stuff like that. But having an authenticator like actually sign is just one that, you know, that's just powerful to have.
It's extremely. We did used to, so we have our signature series, which they were looking for cards and comics, but that was a witness by a CGC employee or one of our witnesses that we have. So this would help with the 6 series. It would be like the witness signatures, but this is the unwitnessed ones that we can now do as well. So which I'd say the majority of signatures would be unwitnessed. So it just opens up a brand new, amazing scale
realm.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I don't think people really are. When I was researching, I wasn't even familiar with the signature series. I guess that's more bigger in the comic space. I guess could you tell the audience, like, you know, what is it all about? Because actually it's a really sick concept.
Okay, yeah. So we have a signature series which is comic based, which we have a lot of in-house signings where artists, like writers, etc., come to CGC. They do a signature series. People submit their comic books, and then they sit there and sign it, and we watch it so we can authenticate it. This guy came in. We do it at shows as well. So we would walk around with the customer that wants to go get his. So like Comic-Con, there's got like artist alleys where they have a lot of artists there. We go watch it, and they sign there again. And then you get a really cool yellow label. I've got one in my room somewhere with Benedict Cumberbatch. So we did one in the UK, Doctor Strange.
Shoot.
Yeah, so we did one with him. Yeah, so that was cool. So, and it just makes it like, it's really crazy. We've had like big comic book artists that even like A-list celebrities or actors, like Hugh Jackman took, obviously did Wolverine, Benedict Cumberbatch. So there is a lot of people there. And then the sports, if we can get the sports side.
I can imagine that's probably in the plans. Like that's, I don't know how new it is, but I just remember like reading about it. I was like, man, that's actually really cool. There's no one really doing that. So there are people that do signings, but like to have like a company back it is like the biggest thing, right? Because we have to worry about fraud and stuff like that.
Yeah, there's a lot of obviously fakes going around, but now this is 100% genuine. We've authenticated it at CGC. We authenticate. That's what we do basically. So it has to be real. Yeah.
Am I allowed to ask like what crazy, like what the craziest fake you've got, or is that something like?
I wouldn't know, to be fair. I haven't seen you don't really get too many fake in comp. So I deal with the comic side and and cards. So there is a few like people sent in the obvious, which is obvious, like a fake card Pokemon, but
it's a fake card.
Yeah, I don't know why. But you can like just looking at it, but the coin side has a lot of fakes because coins really valuable, like expensive coins. So that's kind of we deal with that more over that side.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I think with cars it's pretty obvious when you see it.
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
But yeah, signing these shows I think is one of the biggest opportunities. And I was looking at other like aspects of cards, like, you know, especially when someone goes to CardCon, one of the cooler things I think that people could do is not only bring their own cards to submission, but what if they see, like this is what I would do at national. Like this is what a lot of people do, and that's not just me. Because there's like on-site grading. There's gonna be people that have their cards out there laid out, and none of them are graded. And there's gonna be opportunities where you can walk around and buy a few cards and submit it right on the spot, just because you could get, it's all about quickness, right? Once you get that in there, you get it back in person, and then you can do whatever you want to do with it. And that's something that I think that's cool that you guys are actually taking in-person submissions around the UK. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. Have you guys are you guys able to do that though? Or are you guys able to just submit the day of, or how does that work?
Yeah, you can submit on the day. You won't get it again if it's just taken in submissions there. So we do take it back and then it goes off. But so yeah, we take in submissions at card shows, which is one of the best things we do. And then a lot of people obviously people send in their cards, but we Monday to Friday in our office. So people work. There's weekends we're not available, so it's a great time for people who can't make these times to come see us as well.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. And it's just something different where you hand it in yourself. You don't have to worry about just really weird. I mean, I just had a weird situation yesterday, so I'm just like, oh man, like I wish I could just had somebody authenticate this before this had happened to me. But yeah, like something where you're going around all these shows, like especially if you're new to shows. I would be going around seeing which cards are gradable and pick them up and then submit it right then and there.
Yeah, it's definitely what people do. It's good that we've already done, this is our first kind of year. We've only done like a full year now. So where it's new in the UK, we're new to it as well. So we're growing and learning this one, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and that's the cool thing about this whole entire process, because like in the States, it's kind of embedded. Right? Yeah. It's embedded. Everything that's like done is kind of, there's a system behind it. So like, whereas the UK, it's all kind of new. Especially in like I always make fun of the negotiations part of like the UK, because it's like, you can tell which videos they watch.
Okay.
How they negotiate. I'm like, wow, okay. I've seen this before. But no, it's cool. I love to see the culture grow. And again, I reiterate a lot about the UK and just overseas in general, because with the footy market, it's still something that, man, it's such a brand new concept. And I think at least, I don't know, how long have you been in space, George?
In London?
In the collectibles world.
Literally probably about 3 years.
3 years? Okay, so you were there when, kind of a little after 2019.
Yeah.
But I mean, even 3 years ago, there was no concept of like shows.
No, not at all. I don't know. It's just kind of people thought this great idea, which obviously happens in the US for time. But why don't we do this? And then it's been success. It's what everyone wanted in the end. And then COVID, and after COVID, it's like, right, we were collecting during it. Now let's meet up and talk about it, and then sell, buy, everything.
Yeah. I mean, the Pokemon market's huge. I mean, I know CGC kind of like controls it all there. So it's like, you guys have so many cool like Pokemon collectors out in the UK, you know what I mean? And then, I see just opportunities like, we do a little Disney as well. I was looking at like Disney comic books. I'm like, oh my, like Marvel comic books. That's another story.
Yeah.
That's like crazy. That's like insanely crazy money. That like made me really uncomfortable. But I was like, dude, that's sick. Each to each their own. I mean, One Piece is growing in there, right?
One Piece is looking really big right now. I do the cards, so now it's I think it was like June last year. So we were separated with sports and trading, and we've now combined them into one, just under CGC Cards. It's kind of like a smoother line, but so I see both, and One Piece is now. I'm seeing a lot of One Piece. I think it's blowing up quite big.
Really?
Yes. From what
I did not know that. I know we just started breaking a little bit of One Piece.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we started breaking a little bit of One Piece. Yeah, like anytime I see a blister pack, I'm like, But yeah, One Piece has huge potential, just because
huge potential. And the anime's been going on for a long time, and then the TV show, the Netflix live action came out and got quite a good reception.
The live action.
Yeah, yes. I haven't seen it yet, but I've got a really good reception. People have told me it's really good.
You haven't seen it yet?
No, I haven't seen it.
Oh my man, you gotta watch it, dude. George, you'll like it.
I know. People keep telling me to. Sorry?
Are you in the anime series?
Yeah,
Or-
I haven't
Okay.
watched the anime though. It's too many. It's been going on for like 20 years, so it's too many episodes.
Dude, I have a buddy that actually read it all. I'm like, you are
Oh.
sick.
Yeah.
You were sick in the stomach, dude.
Yeah, it's just so much time. It's like, yeah,
Dude, for real. Yeah. Yeah, that's a new area too. Like, especially anything with trading cards. Like, I'm not an expert in anything, honestly. I'm just like
Right.
here to commentary. But one thing I've noticed is that, especially One Piece, that has some interesting. I was like looking at the OP1s,
Yeah.
Shanks and everything like that. Like, there's like, if you get the black, the pristine, right? Like, just like top of line, it is worth money, and you're
Yeah.
probably gonna see some interesting cards at the show that you could submit.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's just a lot of exciting stuff. But yeah, with that being said, guys, you have anything you want to add, George, on CGC and everything?
Just I would like to just ask you a few questions about your comparison between the US and the UK.
Oh, for sure.
I've
Yeah,
never
sorry,
I've never been to a con in the US, so I'm quite amazed and just want to see how you feel comparing both.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, sorry about that. I was just rambling on, man.
Yeah.
I'm getting so excited. No, yeah, the biggest difference I see in shows is just literally the size of it, the size
Yeah.
of the shows compared to shows in the UK. It's like a multi-day thing. Again, I think I come back to like there's a lot more things going on. Like I can tell like UK they're starting to do a little bit more like the entertainment aspects of it. And in the US it's more so like you have signings there, tons of more dealers.
Right.
But what I do enjoy about the UK a little bit more than US is that there's a lot more footy cards. Like way more footy cards, obviously, and just actually collectors for football. You know what I mean?
Same.
That's something that's kind of still tough in the US. Like, you know what? I'll go to a big regional show and there'll be 3 to 4 cards, tables of football cards, right?
Yeah.
And maybe 2 of them are actual collectors, you know? And there's nothing wrong with not being an actual collector. It's just more so, it's hard to have that dialogue, you know? Whereas like, it's cool when I could sell a card for like, a Dam's Guard, right, to someone that just collects Dam's Guard, and it's because they've been watching them since they've been in the academy and stuff like that. Stuff like that, like that makes me like it's a more enjoyable experience in a sense, and hearing those stories, and that's what I like a little bit more.
Okay, cool. That's cool. I like that.
Yeah, I don't know if that helped answer your question, but it's all and then the kids too. The kids are much different. Like I was telling you before the pod, bro. The kids in the States are built from different cloth. Like don't you know, when you go to the States, do not get played by a kid.
Don't get that.
They will play you. In the UK, they're a lot nicer. You know, I'll tell you that they're a lot nicer to deal with. I mean, we're in the US, they'll haggle you for $5, and they'll all of a sudden like bring out like tens of thousands of dollars. Like, what just happened here?
I bear that in mind.
Yeah. Like, don't ever fall for it. That's all I say. But yeah, anything else that you want to ask us from the States?
Not really at the moment. No, I think that's covered my thing. That was my one question kind of wanted to
Oh,
hear.
really? Cool, man. Yeah. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Hopefully you go to national, you can kind of see the scale of everything and see like, you know, how passionate collectors are. The cool thing about that's happening for the first time ever is that they're gonna have a concurrent show or trade night just exclusively for football cards.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's never has happened.
Yeah, that's a first.
They're actually selling tables and stuff like that. So I'm excited to kind of cover that and see how it goes, because I think the most unique thing about like football cards here is that there's not as much overlaps in other sports. Usually what I mean by that is like you'll see like someone that does American football, but they also do basketball, baseball. Whereas in like when you just do football, like just soccer, you're just doing that usually. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I think that's really cool to see. So
just a dedicated,
Yeah. But guys, make sure if you, especially in the UK, take advantage. There's so many things planned for with JSA, with CGC Signature Series, and on top of that, you guys have the in-person take-homes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You guys have like the personability with CGC and CardCon 420, April 20th, 21st as well. If you're going to be stopping by, make sure to submit your cards. If you have any questions, I'll put your information down below, George.
Yeah,
Is that cool?
100%. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Don't FaceTime him, okay? Don't bother him with like any questions, okay? But George, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking your time out and hopefully Chelsea is.
I haven't seen the score actually.
You haven't seen the score yet? Okay, well, hopefully it's good news when we end this recording. So, take care, brother.
Perfect. No problem. Thank you for having me on. Appreciate it.